Hi Disneylanders with special needs. This is Ashley Jones coming at you with another video. Today I'm going to discuss something very interesting with you before possibly sending you a link about in the comments below, hopefully it works, about what else is going to be reopening at the Disneyland Resort when Disneyland reopens on April 30th. I am really excited, and I hope you are too. I'm going to be really trying to get the Disneyland tickets so that I can take me and a friend that I haven't seen in a very long time over to Disneyland. And he's a great friend of mine, so I'm really hoping for the best. Okay, Disneylanders with special needs. So, this video, sorry, I had an itch on my face. This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to be talking about what you should and should not wear, and what you should and should not bring into the whole Disneyland Resort. So, don't bring these things into Disneyland, California Adventure, the Downtown Disney District, or the hotels of the Disneyland Resort, or the Good Neighbor hotels. So, the do not bring list. Do not bring, and I am very serious about this. No pocket knives, no mace or pepper sprays, no tasers, no weapons of any kind. Those are obvious, correct? But some people do make those mistakes. And sadly, people are punished for those offenses. Also, do not bring Heelys. Those Heely skate shoes are not allowed inside Disney parks. And actually, they're not even allowed if you take the wheels out of them. Which is very interesting because even if you take the wheels out of the Heelys, they still will not allow them in there. So, and then we get into some other things that are not allowed. Do not bring, now here's the problem. I don't know if those personal alarm devices that a lot of people, including myself, have now. Comment down below if you know about this rule. Because it's not specified in the Disneyland Resort rules. But I would believe those would be also not allowed, even though they're self-defense devices that make a loud noise to scare off potential attackers and other people that may hurt you. The only place I would have ever used it might have been somewhere like LA, at LA Union Station, and sometimes maybe the outside the mall at night, because our mall has started getting some not so great characters out there. Also near our metro station in Monrovia. The trouble is, we used to have a very good community here in Monrovia. But unfortunately, there have been some problems that have started happening more and more. Another place I would like to tell you, you may want to consider being careful of and asking if you can bring your personal alarm with you, is leave it in your hotel room in Anaheim if they let you. The only problem that you may go to in some of the hotels is that some people have done some pretty nasty things in hotels to people, including trying to steal people's money, debit, credit cards, and taken, offense to somebody and caused a fight. So ask any of the hotels that you may encounter and stay at if your personal device is allowed. Now I'm going to go into the next set of things that are never allowed in Disney parks. Some of these actually may really surprise you. These surprised me because I've been an annual pass holder before it ended for like 10 years. But unfortunately, a lot of things have really changed. Something that has, in my opinion, never been allowed: stroller wagons and wagons. Wagons are considered two-wheel devices that are not allowed in the Disney parks because they may pose a risk, as they say, because people may, accidentally hit somebody with a wagon, as they think, or just leave it somewhere where it could roll and cause injury or a collision. The other reason wagons might be considered a threat to safety is because sometimes people with wagons may think that they can block certain entrances, exits, and areas with their wagon so people can't, get around somewhere. So that's why wagons are not allowed in the Disney resorts. Another thing that I know sounds kind of funny, but it's really not, is unless it's Mickey's not so scary Halloween party or something other than that allows adults to wear costumes, people over the age of 14 cannot wear a costume over the age of 14 unless it's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, or unless specified by the resort rules itself. Also, no masks can be worn at any time over the age of 13. Now, people ask, why can't people over the age of 14 dress up in actual, princess dresses and real costumes? It's because they don't want people to try to impersonate the characters, because it may confuse young children and also those with special needs, making it look like that somebody else is a character, but they're not hired actually from the Disney company to be characters. These rules are strictly enforced, so please listen. I am not making up these rules. You can look it up on the Disneyland.com website. On Google, you can also look up Disney official rules and Disneyland official rules. The next part I'm going to get into is what I would recommend packing to go inside the Disneyland Resort. So again, I'm talking about the whole Disneyland Resort. I always take a backpack with me because I have to take a lot of medications during the day. So it's always recommended that if you take medication, bring it with you in case you're asked about your medications and why you have them with you by staff if they see them, so that they can ensure that you're following the protocols for not having stuff inside the park that you're not supposed to. I also bring a list of my medications just in case there is an emergency. And I also bring my insurance cards with me. I bring my California ID always. I bring a wallet that I have. It's a Disney wallet, and it lets me carry a lot of stuff inside of it, including some papers for my medication list. Another thing that I have to carry now is my COVID vaccination card, just in case they need to know if I'm vaccinated or not. I don't know if we're going to have to show proof of that or not, so we'll see. Okay. Another thing I'm going to start bringing with me to Disneyland is I have a Fanny pack that I bought before our Disney store in the Santa Anita Mall in Arcadia closed down permanently. I'm going to start carrying that so that I don't have to put so much strain on my back during going to the Disneyland Resort. Okay, so the next few things you will need to bring with you. Now, the weather has been very interesting lately, and it could really flare up to be hot when Disneyland reopens, or it could be freezing cold. We don't know what this next few weeks is going to bring us in terms of weather. So watch out, because make sure you bring your jacket or a sweatshirt or even a long sleeve shirt. Whatever is comfortable for you Disneylanders with special needs, just make sure you have enough layers with you so that you are guaranteed to not suffer from weather conditions too much. The other thing you need to bring with you is, unfortunately, and I'm still not excited about this, yes, you will need to bring a mask, more than one, really. Bring maybe about, depending on how many days you go, bring 3 or 4 of them. Make sure they're comfortable. Make sure they have secured ear loops, or make sure they have the ones that stay on your head, on your face, and behind your ears. Make sure that you know how to adjust the ear loops and that you're familiar with the mask. I typically wear glasses, so I know what I'm saying when I say I wish a lot of the masks did not fog up your glasses. That has been the hardest part for me so far since I started wearing the masks. Okay, so now this next part is going to be very interesting when you're staying at a Disneyland or a good neighbor hotel off the property at the Disneyland Resort. Make sure you have a really good suitcase depending on how long you're staying. Make sure it's preferably a rolling suitcase. I have one that's like a Minnie Mouse style one. I really like it because it is really easy for me to use. I can pack all my clothes and my toiletries and a lot of other things that I may need. Another thing that you may be able to tell in these videos when you hear me talking is that I have really, really bad sinus problems and really bad allergies. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but a lot of people do say that I sound pretty nasally. So I do at night use Breathe Right strips. So if you're one of those people with sinus problems and terrible allergies just like me, I recommend bringing the Breathe Right strip brand Breathe Right strips or the CVS brand, because those are the best for that. Having an over-the-counter allergy medication may be another way to go with this unpredictable weather. We've been having some winds, weird weather, and many people are saying they've had allergies, and even people who never used to have allergies are getting them. So please be careful and plan accordingly to your health. The other thing that's best during this time to bring with you to your resort hotel is vitamins. If your health is, if you're immunocompromised like me, it is best to take a vitamin. I take a complete women's vitamin, and it works really well. I've never gotten anything in a long time. So I've been really fortunate that I found a vitamin that is helping me not catch anything. Another thing we don't seem to hear much about right now because of the COVID-19 vaccine is flu shots. I'm curious if we're still going to need to get the flu shot along with the COVID-19 vaccine, because I know that the COVID vaccines are important, but maybe still so are the flu vaccines. I'm going to ask my parents about that before I go. To let you know, another thing that's going to be increasingly important, if you have skin sensitivities or, the hotel shampoo and stuff really bothers your skin, please make sure you bring your own shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and if you really want to bring one, a loofah and body wash. And also, the other thing that's good to bring with you is if you want to keep your hair dry because you already took a shower, but you want to freshen up your body after the parks, you can bring a shower cap. Now, apparel also is going to fall under this category. Make sure you have pajamas with you that fit hopefully really well. Not too big, not too small, but loose enough that you're very comfortable in a hotel room. I most of the time bring either a pair of Disney pajamas or a nightgown. The other thing I make sure I bring with me is a pair of socks or some slippers. The frustrating thing is that sometimes in hotel rooms, it could either be perfect temperature in there, unbelievably hot, or unbelievably cold. Sometimes it's not as easy to adjust the temperature as you want to either. Now, another thing some people may have trouble with doing is sound. Some people are very sensitive to sound, especially with sound sensitivities. So in a hotel room, if loud noises from families coming back from their day are kind of noisy, you could put a towel kind of under the door frame of your hotel room so it can kind of try to block out some of the noise. If you have a white noise app on your phone, that would be great too. White noise machine would be okay if you have room for it, but a lot of people may not have the room in their luggage to carry a bunch of bulky machines. Yes, and I know some of those machines, depending on what models and stuff they are, they can be kind of bulky. Now, back to what you need to consider, what you should bring with you, even when you go inside the theme parks. Comfortable shoes. Okay, I know many people talk about comfortable shoes and non-comfortable shoes. You can guess what you should and should not wear, but people do make these mistakes. Okay, ladies, I'm actually talking to you in this video. You don't need to wear your high heels and your stilettos and your wedges. The reason being, Disneylanders with special needs and families, is that you will most likely find out how bad blisters are and also calluses. Not to mention how much pain you'll be in trying not to twist your ankle while trying to run in a busy theme park to catch your ride time or whatever. The problem is, a lot of times people go, okay, I'll just bring my flip-flops instead. That's another bad idea. Flip-flops, even though people may disagree on this, flip-flops do not offer any arch support or foot support for that matter. Flip-flops will actually make your day pretty hazardous. If your flip-flop is the type that will actually hurt you in between your toes, your whole foot, or make you trip and fall, your day at Disneyland can turn into a trip, sadly, even to the ER or the first aid centers. I don't want to see anybody in their flip-flops fly down on their face or their bottoms because they weren't listening to people's recommendations. The last thing you need is to have to leave the park because you brought the wrong type of footwear and got injured. The other thing that's going to be bad about flip-flops is if somebody runs your foot over with either their foot, a stroller, a wheelchair, or anything, it's gonna hurt. Nobody wants to be in a situation where you get injured because of another guest, or even worse. I know they've taken a lot of the curbs down on Main Street to make them flatter and more accessible to those with wheelchairs and other special needs people. But unfortunately, there are still some curbs, I believe. Stairs, elevators. I don't know about escalators anymore. But unfortunately, there are obstacles in which your flip-flops will pose a danger to you and everyone else around you. Please don't be that person and learn that it's just best to leave your flip-flops at home. Another type of footwear that you may or may not want to bring with you, and some people say they're very comfortable to wear inside the theme parks, and some don't want to wear them, Crocs. This is a controversial topic for some. Some people say Crocs are one of the most comfortable types of footwear, and others say that they're torturous to wear inside the Disneyland Resort or any Disney resorts. Comment down below if you think Crocs are super comfortable to wear inside the Disney resorts or super treacherous and painful. So, another thing I'd recommend to bring, well broken in shoes. They don't have to look bad to be well broken in. This is what's going to be funny for people like me, because I've got one thing that people may disagree on. I have a problem where my feet are super small because I'm not that tall or big. My shoe size can vary from a kid's 4.5 wide to a typical size 6 kid shoe. But I cannot go bigger usually than a 6 at all. But lately I've been mostly buying a kid size 5. Now the issue with kid shoes is sometimes, depending on where you buy them, they may not be made to last forever. Sometimes kid shoes are made cheap for a reason, to make them cost effective. But that means, unfortunately, sometimes the kid shoes may wear out a little bit while you're on vacation. So if you have enough room in your luggage, bring 2 pairs of kid shoes that are not cheap, super cheap knockoff shoes, and not anything that you know that your children are not used to wearing. Also make sure they have socks on, or you have socks on as well, because if you were to walk around the theme park with just no socks on, your feet might really start to blister, hurt, peel, and depending on the type of footwear, they can really stink and ruin your shoes. So those are my recommendations for that. I'll tell you, I think the 2 types of footwear that I will be bringing inside the theme park is because I have some issues because of my autism and my past seizure history with my balance. I'm going to try to be bringing high top tennis shoes. Right now, what you can't see, and it will be hard for me to show you unless I can pan in, I don't think I can. I'll show you a little bit what I can show you. Yeah, no, I think it's a little hard. Sorry, I can't really show you because I can't get the angle right. So I apologize. I have a pair of, believe it or not, even though I'm not a basketball fan, I do have a pair of kids' white Shaq tennis shoes. They're high tops. And they have a Velcro strap on them, so that you don't have to tie them and have them become untied when you're walking around everywhere. Great thing if you can still find Velcro shoes if you're special needs. Because yes, I can tie my shoes, and I've been doing it for quite a long time now. But unfortunately, sometimes it is not in people's best interest to have to bend down and tie their shoes all the time. They do make some adult shoes in Velcro, but you really, really have to search for them. So, whatever you need to do, ensure that if you do have tying tennis shoes, that they fit well, that the laces are not too long, and that you don't trip over them. Another thing that some people bring with them is, unfortunately, some people wear other sandals that may not be so comfortable. The only pair of sandals that I've worn inside the theme parks is Timberland fisherman sandals, the closed-toed type, so I could wear socks and keep my toes protected. The other problem that I can't show you, but I'll confess to you anyway, is I'm not sure why I got some things that other people may not realize that are wrong with my feet when I go to a theme park. But unfortunately, I have this one problem when I walk, where I tend to walk a little bit harder than a lot of people do, probably to keep my balance. I didn't realize I was starting to do that until my family and my neurologist pointed it out. The one thing that has been super frustrating for me is trying to not have to resort to trying not to get sick by wearing my mask all day. The problem is, folks, that the masks for people with allergies and other health issues like that can be a little bit suffocating. So if you know you're going to have problems with your breathing and control, make sure that you take enough breaks where they're allowed to take off your mask and not get in trouble by making sure you breathe the best you can. I made a big mistake when I was last at the mall. I'm not sure what happened, but maybe I wasn't breathing the right way. I didn't feel very good that night, so I kind of got a little ill from breathing all the stale air through my mask. So just bring Imodium or whatever over-the-counter stomach relief that you can tolerate and you like personally. And maybe an antacid, just in case something upsets your stomach. Food, stale air, and wearing your mask. Drinks that may upset your stomach. Or even better yet, the other thing that can also upset you and your stomach is stress. Don't let anything ruin your day Because if you let something stress you out and you end up not feeling good, then that's not going to be good on your vacation. Nothing is worth you getting upset and stressed and making yourself sick. So at this point, I'm going to move on with another video. So I'm going to cut this one off for now. Have a good day, Disneylanders with special needs. To be continued. Bye.